Hello everyone, it's Normal Player Guy, and wow do I have an interesting video for you all today. You could call me the Eza King. Right, I'm about to hit 999 on this. This is utter absurd. In order to do this, I've had to do this with this team, and the team is, well, it's pretty broken, and it's the only team that can do it. Quite recently, I only just pulled the LR Piccolo. We'll just jump straight into it. But this is the team I've been using since probably the 600s, maybe 700s, with the introduction of Piccolo at around 957, I think, something like that, because I recently just pulled the new Piccolo, which is pretty cool, pretty awesome. So there is not much way over around to do this, and this team is probably one of the only few people to actually be able to do this. Now Piccolo is great, he is fantastic, but in this particular scenario, he is not so. We cannot get the 18 key. That is going to suck. Because Piccolo, well, in order to be fantastic, he needs to have another Bond of Master and Disciple on the team, which there is not. So he is not getting the guard and extra 100% to his stats, which means that he's not as impressive. But mind you, he does build with each attack that he receives, so he does build up quite nicely in a little while. See, the Vegeta, it's the Super Saiyan Tech movie hero Vegeta from the Cooler movie. He is decent, right? Greatly raises, has a comparable start of turn defense, does pretty much the same thing as Piccolo in terms of super attack effect. But where the Vegeta fails in particular, is the fact that he doesn't build up any more. So that's really about it. So Piccolo, while he doesn't guard, he has the other advantage, and that is he has this giant transformation which can kick in, so when all allies in the same turn are from the superhero category, and there's no turn restriction on that, I don't believe, unless it's just turn 4. It might be turn 4, but the only people to qualify on this is the gods. It's the EZA God Goku and the 7th Anniversary Unit Gods, right? If they need to be on the same rotation as him. And speaking of which, we have them on the same rotation, so I don't think it works. I think it is actually a turn title for number 4. So this is an extraordinarily difficult event. So the only way around it, realistically, is these. Every unit in this has the pros and cons. Everyone can dish out tremendous amounts of damage, but not everyone can take it. MVP, I would say, is going to go to God Goku, purely because while Caulifla completely takes all the damage, so does God Goku, but he can actually do some decent damage, right? After his EZA, he's not shy of damage, and even prior to his EZA, he was still rocking this event because he took nothing. But now he's after his EZA, he is still capable. So another surprising unit is that these guys, so realistically, these are probably the only guest. You might be able to swing it with another Piccolo depending on who you use. You might be able to get Piccolo's guard, etc. But I found this is the right way to go about it with movie heroes or pure Saiyans. Fantastic leader skill. And the AGL. But the fact that they're AGL, here it is, yeah. So despite the fact that they're AGL, they're still able to hold up their own after they've done their 18 key. Right, yeah. So this is legitimately one of the first few times I've had it in this situation where it's usually they've been on opposite rotations. But yeah, there is no turn restriction. You can just transform. Now, one thing against the Vegeta I had in this guy, so the Vegeta, he does trigger more links. As you can see, this guy is only giving Fierce Battle, right? So with that, that's fine. But this guy, while he doesn't have his guard, he does have this ability. Now, this ability allows us free damage. And I wouldn't say it guarantees us the victory, but the fact that we can sink in free damage with access to the hidden potential system, it's utter madness. It's truly broken, right? So, I mean, this is actually kind of easy, because leading up to this, I'd say the past 20 levels, I've had to rely on Goku's Revive. That's the Tech LR Carnival Goku's Revive. So it's quite lucky I've got in this rotation. So who else do I have in this? Right, okay, so yeah, so the leader is going to be the 7th Anniversary Gods for Movie Heroes and Power Beyond. So pretty powerful. And Super Tech, in terms of either of those categories, is ridiculous. And I say this Piccolo really helps. Really good defense, and he builds up with each attack performed and greatly raises on either super attack. So he's absolutely brilliant. And this guy, he has it for 2 turns. There's a chance he can have it for 3 turns, which would be unbelievable. So yeah, we are just getting free damage, and this is amazing. And of course, Broly's super attacks get wasted through and through, so yeah. So that's pretty good. So the other people, actually, let's just do this. So the other people we have, so Caulifla is really good. She's probably second in terms of MVP, because she completely dodges absolutely everything. The only thing is, even on a crit, she's doing like 60k, which is utter nothing. Which is, you know, it's just terrible. But you cannot underestimate her performance in this. Her ability to dodge anything from a Pure Saiyan or Tournament of Power is utter ridiculous, which just means she is a lifesaver. Again, she's not getting anything in terms of stats from this. She might be getting, I think she's getting half of stats, because I believe the guest, or is it Pure Saiyan's a movie hero? So she is getting something, but she is not at all anywhere near viability in terms of damage. So yeah, so the whole team works really well together. So one way I've been doing this is I've been using Carnival Goku's revive skill. So you got to enter the turn in under 60% HP, and then if you die, and you can quite probably easily die depending on who has this, then you will be able to revive, and that's great. So that's good. So yeah, okay, so we will do this. So if I wanted to die, these guys, this is their first, let's just imagine it was these guys' first appearance, right? They would take, even with guard, at this level, 80k. And by the time they've done 3 super attacks with their guard for the first turn, they're taking 34k, but it's taking 3 supers. From then on out, they're taking around, well, about 80, well, still about 80k because they've stacked up. So it's getting ridiculous. Now, we'll do this. So it is most important that you do get them 20 ki at the minimum, because that allows them to do a double super, so they can double stack. Now Piccolo is up to 200k, so I'm actually going to do this for a lot of healing, right? So yeah, that's great. So if the super attacks can be placed strategically where they can hit Caulifla or they can hit God Goku, I wouldn't say it's a guaranteed win, but you're probably going to be along those lines, because if they hit anyone else, I wouldn't say it was game over, but you're going to have to trend towards the revive. But that's the way it is. Now, another good surprising unit on this is the LR Tech Gogeta. So we just won that, and that was surprisingly easy. But the only reason we won that was because of Piccolo's ability. And if it wasn't for that, and we had the Vegeta on, which you still could legitimately do, he would just have to double super. Wouldn't do it. So we're up to the final level now. Final level. But before that, the LR Tech Gogeta. So they're still super impressive. I mean, when they first released, they were nothing compared to the STR Vegito. But now these days, now it's the other way around, right? This is incredible. Now, it's very difficult to get them to transform, because Broly in here is doing about 80k a normal period, no matter who it is, outside of God Goku and Caulifla, right? So yeah, and he could super attack the one person for several 100,000, so it's ridiculous. But they are surprisingly great. Their damage reduction and the fact that they are on a 200% lead, and with the 30% to do additional supers, honestly, if they do 2 supers, they're looking pretty okay, looking pretty jazzy actually. And with 3 supers, I think with 3 supers, they're taking like 10k, it's ridiculous. So yeah, we enter the final level. It is ridiculously hard, but here we go. About every 100 or so levels, you see a bit of a jump. Actually, when I got to 900, it was fairly difficult then. About 970 is when it really started kicking up. This rotation isn't strictly the worst, but it's not great either, because our defensive rotation is all in. And I say defensive rotation, it's God Goku and Caulifla. They are all in the next slot. Realistically, you want 1 in each. Start of turn, Piccolo's only got 158k. He doesn't have guard, and he's not triggering the first part of his passive. So he doesn't have the extra 100%, but he does build. So, and he does have 20% damage reduction, but makes these guys better, because they have 30% and a comparable damage reduction, but they lose a bit. So put in here, what is it that's actually making them lose? It's prepared for battle. Prepared for battle is making them lose a little bit. So in this, it's 5. So we'll do this. Ooh, no. It's going to be tricky, because We need to get them a super attack. Actually, yeah, we can. So, okay, that's fine. Now, I would love to get the gods a 20 key, but since they're not being attacked, I think we're fine. That actually is 20 key bob on, so I think we got lucky on that. So a super attack off the bat would be terrible. Okay, that's fine. So he starts off with 88k, but he gets quite a lot. He gets, what is it, 15% per attack received. So he actually does build up, and this greatly raises his defense as well. So he will take significantly less. Yes, he we're already down to 17k, and he's going to build up more and more and more. So now it's going to come down to, are these guys going to be able to do 2 or 3 super attacks? Because if after this, come on, give me one more. You got to give me one more. Okay, that's not good. So they take, okay, 42 is not bad. And if you think they did another one, I think they take around 30k. So honestly, they're really, really good. How much damage is this going to do? Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. If God Goku is on the next turn, then we'll aim for the revive. But that's just classic, right? Honestly, I've been doing that for God knows how many levels now. I have probably seen all these active skills and revives more time than anyone now. But you know, this is how sad of a life that I have. I've been slowly grinding my way up. Honestly, before then, there was a whole bunch of people that you could use prior, that you could actually use. Actually, this is just perfect. Because God Goku is not going to come... no, sorry. Carnival Goku will arrive next turn. We will die. But it's impossible for us to die. So this is brilliant. So all I can do is treat him like a bullet sponge and completely go to town on him. So we'll get as much attacks as possible. That's right. So yeah, so this is brilliant. This is like a particular phase that you need. Like he's attacking once at the start and all at the end. Completely skips the middle. And in this particular instance, it worked out fine. So again, despite the fact we didn't have a great rotation at the start, and despite the fact we took a huge amount of damage at the start from that super attack, it's not over. And this is before we even get to active skills. So again, the 7th anniversaries, you hit turn 4 and you can pop their active skill and you can transform. But again, you could pop the active skill transformation, or rather the active skill, but then that active skill. But if you are under 50% HP, or they are, so then you have a guaranteed monster crit, which is utter jazzy, and that alone is an absolute lifesaver. Okay, so here, so perfect. So we could just die, and I think I'm going to aim for it. Who has the least HP? Despite the fact that you have more defense than the LR Gogeta, you don't have damage reduction. You're the way to die. If we live, and I supremely doubt we do, we might as well pile on some damage, but I supremely doubt. Ah, perfect. These will get me killed. Okay. Okay, brilliant. That just goes to show, by the way, this is legitimately probably the only tactic you can do. Now, I wouldn't also say this guarantees a victory, but this does allow you to come back with 60% health, right? This does allow you another chance, and it skips the rotation if we've had a bad rotation, and hopefully there's something better coming on. We know we have God Goku coming on the next rotation, so he could hold his own. He can hold his own, so that's great. So, yeah, it's going to go down to them. So it's a bit of a stretch doing all of this, because each one of these takes like 5 minutes, to do. And if you have 5 minutes and there's hundreds and hundreds of stages, it's literally hours I've spent. Okay, perfect. This is probably a perfect way to finish this, because you see, these 7th anniversary units, when they transform, if you get them their 18 key, then they guarantee the additional super attack. So their 18 key massively raises their stats, and their 18 key greatly raises on top of it. But the 18 key would stop this guy's turn right here, right there. And that means we would take no damage, period. So we just have to ensure that they have that. But on top of which, Broly is under 50% HP, we are just over. So that qualifies, either we or they. And we get monstrous crits. So let's have a look. I want you to have an 18 key, so I'm going to do this. That is just about, that nearly fell the wrong way. So that is an 18 key. Broly will have his attack nullified. That is also an 18 key, because by the way, these guys, they're guessed. There's a huge difference for them between, oh, perfect. Honestly, the video shows brilliantly, but what it doesn't show is the past 100 levels have been an utter strain. I've had to use the revive, well, much like this, but like especially the last 20 of these levels, I've been knocked out 1 in every 3 goes. It is ridiculous. Honestly, the last 2 levels on video have been a breeze, but I'd stress now, the amount of damage you take before you launch super attacks is just not the case. They're able to do some serious damage, they're able to nullify the attacks, they're able to greatly and massively stack in respects. I mean, honestly, everyone in this team has a role, and just because one unit got utter slaughtered doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean that you're going to lose. So there we go. I have completed 999 ridiculous stages of this. It is stupid. Really, really stupid. Please don't do this. But I have completely done it. But to be fair, kudos to some other people. The next nearest person has 776 and is rocking the same team. Someone's at level 500 and they're rocking Blue Gogeta and that banner unit, Vegeta. So I mean, that's possible. That's totally possible. So I've got a bit of time to spare, and so I could teach you through what could be some good units, because this team has changed quite a lot. Right, so I mean, it didn't always start with the 7th anniversary units, but of course it started with, pretty much everything else. So it could start with movie heroes, it started with Super Tech, and it went to like Pure Saiyans, but eventually it did evolve around this. So some of the other potential units you could use, we'll just switch to Super Tech on Movie Hero. Movie Hero is in purple. We'll do Movie Hero, we'll go for Tech. So this is what we got. I know it's Tech and AGL respectively, but yes. So Carnival Goku's a good one for powerful comeback, but not everyone's on this. The 7th anniversaries are brilliant for Power Beyond and Movie Heroes, with the 200% lead for Kamehameha, which does affect more people. But again, not many people on this can also run Bond of Master and Disciple at the high level, but then again, you can do. So for example, I was rocking these guys for a little bit, because these have their active skill and they can do multiple attacks, and if they crit they can do some serious damage. On top of which, these are not a Bonder, Master and Disciple, so you wouldn't trigger guard. This particular unit as well can be hugely powerful. On Movie Heroes, you are going to be on Power Beyond as well. Bond of Master and Disciple. Bond of Master and Disciple could be really good alongside this guy who gets his guaranteed guard for the first few turns, right? That could be brilliant. Another real good unit which you could use is this guy, because he's an orb changer. Now honestly, I used this guy all the way up till the high 600s. It wasn't until about 680 where I swapped him out for this particular Vegeta that I was thinking of. He's good. He greatly raises, he has 200% at the start of turn, he has his chance to crit, he has extra 50% defense if everyone in the turn is a movie hero, so realistically the only person not going against that goes against him is Caulifla. Caulifla would be bad. For the first few hundred, even this guy can be quite dominant. But yeah, this guy can be pretty solid just because of his orb changes. This guy as well can be pretty decent because he works with all tech types. This guy, I used him as the guest up till about level 500. He only has a 130% lead, but he is supremely powerful, and I believe I used them as well, because they're just really good for like a 170%. But eventually it comes to a point where this is really the only team. You need a 200% lead. I mean, honestly, these take 80k even with guard, and even after they've done a bunch of super attacks, they're still taking around 60k before anything. So that's generally the team that we're rocking. So yeah, that's it. So that is, I'm afraid, a ridiculous amount. We'll just get to it then. So there you go. Here's your proof. I am probably one of the only few saddest people going in the world who has hit 999. Call me the Eza King. Thank you for watching this ridiculous video. If you liked it, woohoo! If you didn't, I don't blame you in this one. But it still sucks to be you. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.